Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Dmtsi hosted by Dmtsi Ertrawyan. My name is Rahel Waldasabatu, and I'll be moderating our discussion today with two very bright Eritrean young women. My two guests here today are Yokobel Amaniel and Yodit Tsagay. Yokobel is currently doing her master's in international administration and global governance at Gothenburg University, and Yorit has finished her bachelor's degree in fashion management at Nottingham Trent University. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to have this discussion today. How are you two doing?
Good.
Thank you for having us. We're
Thank
good.
you for having us. We're happy to be here.
We're happy the program is back.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so the two of you are close friends and have taken very different education and career paths. Can you tell us a little bit of your journey and what has led you to where you are today?
Ready?
Yeah. Should I start? Yeah. So my journey, I studied at Nottingham Trent University, as you said. I did a bachelor degree in fashion management. So I moved to the UK to study there. So I did like almost 2 years, and then COVID came, so I moved back home. And then I went back after summer. So it was a lot of back and forth because of COVID. But yeah, and now 2 years later, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I found my path and I'm working on it. So now I'm a stylist. So I'm still in the fashion industry. So I do styling and I'm also a dancer. So yeah, the journey has been interesting. A lot of back and forths and doubts, and yeah, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it now. I enjoy what I'm doing now. Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yokobel?
So I did my bachelor's degree in Universitetet in international social science, global studies, and then I did a major in political science. And then I did not get into the master that I wanted, so I studied an extra year. So I longed my 3-year bachelor to 4-year bachelor, and then I got into my master that I'm doing right now. And then in between, or not in between, but before I did my master's, I worked with the international organization. And then I moved abroad and I studied in Paris for a while. And now I'm back in Gothenburg. And I'm going to start my master thesis soon.
Awesome. Last week, we had Dr. Aman on the show who touched upon the importance of education as well as the importance of taking risks and not being afraid of taking such risks. In our culture, as well as in many other cultures, diaspora cultures, we have the pressure of continuing our higher education. And I think it's also safe to say that there are certain professions that our elders prefer us to obtain. What are your personal experiences? Have you felt any pressures from your family as well as the community when it comes to your choice of future career paths? And do you feel that your choices have been influenced by what has been expected from you? Maybe Yokabel, you can go first this time.
Uh, I feel like I've been very influenced in having an education rather than a specific education. So I actually studied music in high school. So I did the music program in high school, and then I went in to study something completely different. I definitely feel that there is pressure within our community for specific professions. I personally did not feel that from my parents. I feel like they pushed more the importance of having an education rather than what the education was. So if I like to do something else besides traditional professions, as long as I had a degree within it, that would be fine. So I didn't feel that from my parents specifically. No, I didn't.
How
Yeah.
about you?
Same. Oh, sorry. Same here. For my parents, it was very important to have an education, just as Yocheva said. But I guess in the community, when parents start asking you, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. I used to get really ashamed because I didn't get a full-time job after I graduated. I was still trying to figure out what I want to do. I was very confused. So like to tell people that I didn't know what I was doing, kind of, it was a bit hard for me in the beginning, because I don't, I guess since the community expect you to be at a certain point, or like even not just the Eritrean community, just like the community in general, like when you're a certain age, you should have done this, 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 and that. So I used to feel that kind of pressure a lot. But I guess like since my parents weren't that hard on me, they just always wanted like what's best for me. I just had to like, yeah, I had the space to still like figure out what it was that I wanted to do. So yeah, I think that's, yeah.
In case we have viewers that are not in Sweden or do not know the Swedish education system, I just want to point out that it is actually not a requirement for young people or their students to do high school, what they call gymnasiet.
Mm,
And I think that might also, I don't know, maybe influences people's choices to, yeah, if they don't like school at quite a young age, they can totally choose to opt out. It's not at all illegal, or you know with different conventions, for instance, you have the right to education for children, but in Sweden it actually, the high school part is not considered a requirement in terms of law. Like a student can choose not to go to high school. And then it's also not very easy, I guess, to get into university, or at least in a program of your choice, as you have experienced, Jokabel. So maybe that could also influence somebody's decisions on what to choose as a career path or to continue on a higher education. So I think it's
Yeah.
really great that the two of you, been able to do that. And it's also great that you haven't had so much pressure in career choice, right?
Mhm. I mean, I think because we maybe didn't experience it at home, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist within the community. Like Yori said, like sometimes, some if they ask you what you study and you say specific traditional education, then they might praise you in a way that they maybe wouldn't if you would say something that's untraditional, like Yori was saying. But I think also maybe for something that I would like to see within our community, which I think is coming up now, is instead of pushing people to specific to study, like you need to study, you need to start studying, instead encourage them in what they like, and then within that, have a degree within that. But I feel like I'm seeing the shift with our
yes.
generation a little bit more than it was like before, which is very, very good, and
Yeah,
it's nice to see.
I agree. I've studied fashion, which is very not traditional, obviously. And I didn't even know that existed until I saw somebody else do it. And I was like, oh, like I didn't even know that was a thing. So because I was so focused on like, I was trying to do the traditional, but like it didn't feel good. I just wanted to do it because I was supposed to do it, and or like that would be something that would be appreciated by other people. But then when I saw that someone else did it, I was like, oh, okay, like this is an option as well, because I've always had interest in fashion. And yeah, so as Yuki said, I feel like people are now starting to, because there's so much you can study, and there's so much you can get an education literally in anything, like
Anything.
anything you
Yeah.
can get a degree from. So as she said, I think it's very important to do what you like rather than what people expect you to do, or other people want you to do, or yeah, rather take time and try to figure out what it is that you want to do than just doing it just because it won't be, it's pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah. I do think there's a shift in these type of pressures, which makes sense when you consider, like, the type of jobs that uh, require, like, like you can get an easy job, and not only you can get a job easily in that type of career path, but also that it pays quite well. But now I think that we're seeing a lot of Eritreans actually influencing different spheres, different fields. And I don't know about you, but it's like, oh my God, an Eritrean's behind this. Like it's
Yes.
well, like I mean, just on the topic of fashion, Victoria Abraham, like come
Mm-hmm.
on, like her dresses were featured on Beyonce videos. You know what I mean? I
And
know
I
that.
think by the Swedish royal family as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
There's
too.
another one, Selam Feshaye as well. She's Eritrean from Stockholm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I love it. I think it's even in sports. We have Alexander Isak. Even in music, there's people. So I think we're able to find a lot of pride also when we see Eritreans excel in these things that might not be kind of traditional or uh,
Yeah.
as in the past.
Mm.
So yeah, let me ask
I love
you.
progress.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you another question. Uh, you were both still young and still embarking in your future path. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but is there any advice or food for thought that you would give those who are contemplating or unsure what they want to do once they finish high school? I mean, you already given some good advice. Yeah, do what you want, choose what you want. But is there something maybe that you wish that someone would have told you when you were in high school?
Uh, that I don't have to know what I want to do now. Like it's impossible to know what you want to do for the rest of your life when you're in your 20s.
Mm.
Like and I think you will always change what you want. Like even in the future, what I do now, I might not want to do in 5 years, 10 years. Like I don't know. So I just really, as we said earlier, I just think it's really important to focus on what are you interested in right now, rather than what will I do for the rest of my life, because you don't know that, and nothing is for sure. So I just think it's really, really important to try to figure out, okay, what am I interested in right now? Like, what can I see myself do maybe in the upcoming 5 years? Like, what's my passion? What gives me that drive? What, yeah, rather than even if the drive is money, then let that be it. But I just think like don't be so hyper focused on like, oh shit, oh like I need to know what I want to do for the rest of my life. Other If I don't, then it will be like, don't stress about that, because it's impossible to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Me and Yoda actually discussed this before. I feel like both me and Yodit are actually advocates of, if you started like a program or education and you feel like it's not for you, then you need to drop off.
Sounds, yes.
Because I feel like, and then some people can say that, well, no, that's a waste of time. I've done this X amount of years within this education. I feel like in your 20s, not early 20s, I feel like the whole 20s, maybe even 30s, you're still trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And in order to get to that point, you need to test specific things. I mean, if you would ask me today, I'm in my 6th year of university. If you ask me what I want to do specifically, I don't know. I know the specific area, but I'm not specifically sure on the place I want to be in a couple of years. I don't know. So it's okay to not know, but if there's something that you like, try it out. And if it doesn't work, if it was not for you, then we move. You've learned
And
that it's for you, and you move. So I
yeah,
think it would have been nice for somebody to have said that when you graduated from high school, that you will not know what you want to do, and it's fine. You're going to try yourself forward. So I think that's what I would like to hear. Would have liked.
Hearing the both of you give that type of advice, um, I think that maybe people might feel that pressure because they think that they need to be able to advance or prosper in just like one thing or one field. But even the
yeah,
journey that you go through, trying to figure out yourself, you can also pick up a lot of very interesting skill sets.
Hmm.
And I think it's good that if people understand this journey as something like that. Like, you're not wasting time, but
Yeah.
okay, I don't. At the very least, you know what you don't want to do if you get into the program and you decide to not continue. But also, as you figure this out, there's different things that you learn about yourself. You learn different skills, and that should, of course, clear the path that really fits you.
Yeah.
You know, for your future. We only have one life to live, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So, the last question for Ertra, it is important that Eritreans living in the diaspora are also part of the nation building process in one way or another. Can you see yourself being part of this process, and what would it mean for you?
Should I start?
You want to start?
No, you go ahead. Go.
I can absolutely see myself be a part of that process. I mean, I'm studying international administration and global governance, so I study a lot about different policies and legislation coming regarding countries on a global scale. So I would definitely love to represent EPRA one day um, in any type of context. But I can see myself doing that, and I think that would mean a lot, both for me and for my people.
Awesome. How about you?
Yes, same. I definitely do see me doing something. I I would love to lift up or like inspire people creatively. I think that's very important and maybe something that's underestimated as well. Like how much being just allowing yourself to create something that doesn't exist, or like just yeah, I just think it's very underestimated, and I think that does a lot of good to people. So I would love to go back to Eritrea, and it could be anything. Have dance classes, like just or I don't know, do different projects. I would love to like one day if I have my brand and then my own brand in the future, being able to like maybe I don't know like an industry or something in Eritrea to provide more jobs because there's super talent. There's so much talent over there as well, and I just think it's important to like give people chance to or give them the right
Tools.
yeah tools possibilities as well, uh, and yeah, that's something I would love to do in the future.
Yeah, I totally love how, even though the two of you have pretty different fields, right, of study and ideas for your future, it can still come back to, you know, contributing something back to Eritrea, to the people, and the fact that you're young and ready to do that already. It sounds awesome. So I'm expecting Yokabel to represent Eritrea at the UN or EU one day, and you, Yodit, it's going to be Paris Fashion Week and also like
That
projects back home. I can see you doing
yes.
really good things. Okay, so thank you so much for this, you know, lovely opportunity to just hear and learn from you. I'm so sure that a lot of the young people are going to see this and feel very inspired by your journey. Yeah, so thank you so much for contributing to the success of our program, Dmtsi Ertrawyan. For those who are viewing on social media, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Uh, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our program. We will continue to have similar programs like this in both Swedish and English. Um, yeah, so thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also give us feedback in the comment section.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And also, please give us feedback in the comment section.
Like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to give us feedback in the comment section.
We will be broadcasting in both Swedish and English. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to give us feedback in the comment section.
تدمسسو مسوطا بحارنا تلبسو مسوطا بحارنا